many times we get so involved in and greedy about what we want and what me, and I am just thrilled, and my team is the same way. I mean, we took a vote. We're excited about this. We wanted to do something that was outside of ourselves, and these people, I mean, Family Services has done such a great work, and I'm so excited that we're going to be able to just be a part of assisting some of these families that need some help.
Now,
I just need some help. Mm-hmm.
People may know you from your work with Mike Hermes, the radio show on the weekend. Tell people when that's on and how did you get to meet Mike Hermes? Who's a great guy. I've known Mike for a million years.
Oh, yeah, I call him my little brother. In fact, some people really think he's my little brother because I give him such a hard time. I said, I always needed a little brother. Actually, the same person who introduced me to this opportunity with Rapping with Jack introduced me to Mike Hermes a number of years ago. And, of course, I've been in the mortgage industry for a million years, and Mike has been around for a long time, and he was sort of needing a mortgage arm, and we hit it off. I really thought about it because I thought a long time because I'm not into this kind of thing too much. I'm sort of quiet. Well, I'm not quiet, but I don't, you know, I found it to be a wonderful outlet for meeting a lot of great people. Right. But anyway, it's, you know, when you're in the mortgage industry, it's sort of fun to keep up with everything, fun and necessary to keep up with everything that's going on, and then to get to share it. And that's how it started. So several years ago, I started working with Mike on his show, and we just had it's been a wonderful time and a good opportunity.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, Helen Bernatek with us, and Helen's Money Team with Network Funding is the 2010 title sponsor for Rapping with Jack. If people want to get in touch with you, Helen, what's the best number to call your company?
My number is 210-403-0808, or they can go to my website at helensmoneyteam.com, and we're going to be putting a Rapping with Jack information on the website as well. Of course, it's on the KTSA website, and it's a beautiful, wow, it looks great on the website. And I'm just encouraging anybody that I've worked with, family members, friends, clients, please come and be a part of this incredible experience.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you for what you're doing. Look forward to seeing you soon. And again, thanks for being our sponsor this year.
My pleasure. We're thrilled. Thank you.
Take good care. Helen Bernatek, Helen's Money Team with Network Funding. It was really an ordeal the last few years to have a sponsor. We've even gone years without a sponsor for this event because of the economy. And so we're thrilled to have her. And thank you, Helen. Thank you so much. And we're looking forward to seeing everybody on the 14th of December. You're all invited.
I was going to say, I will be there.
All right, let's get back to Gang of Four now on KTSA at 11:17. Governor Rick Perry, not running for president, we have to say every time we say his name,
that's right,
but running an incredible campaign for something. I don't know what if it's not for president. He's got the,
nationwide book tour.
Nationwide book tour. Yep. Almost daily cable TV interviews. Speeches all over the place. I don't know. And now he's come out with this proposal that may, not even a proposal, he's floating the idea. He's saying maybe the U.S. military is going to have to go into Mexico and help the Mexican authorities in some way fight these cartels. Maybe that's going to be necessary. Maybe we can't do all of our work, such as it is, on our side of the border. Is this a good idea? Would you like to know more? Does this sound like a terrible idea to you? What are you thinking?
This has been one of Perry's platforms for a while, the failure to protect the Texas borders, correct? I love to hear more. I love his aggression. I think the number is now, close to 30,000 Mexicans have been killed in the drug wars. How much of that has spilled over into U.S. soil, I don't know. But if it becomes an issue where we're talking about American lives, I think definitely, hell yeah, I think we should be considering entering into Mexico with armed forces.
And I think he's kind of hit a nerve with people, because as we've talked on the show before, Jack, when you look at Afghanistan and what it's become, and really that it's more of an occupation, we don't know why we're there, what are the results that come about as a result of the occupation. And then we have something that's in such close proximity to us that's causing the kinds of issues that it's causing, that I think, to Perry's credit, he's the master of really tapping into something that's hot, or that people are really concerned about talking about, voicing an opinion about. And I think particularly here within Texas, and other border states, I think there are a lot of people that are willing to listen to it.
And look, and there's also an issue. I don't know if Americans have died over here because of the drug wars, but there's a lot of people who have been affected by it in America. A lot of friends from Mexico, a lot of friends from Juarez, who are concerned about not only the murders that are happening south of Mexico, but also over the border of El Paso. And so this is an issue that's, while American lives may not have been lost, a lot of American lives have been affected by it because of family and friends that still live in Mexico. So this is an issue that I think, while Perry may be being antagonizing people to do something about it, it's something that I think is very important to a lot of people here in Texas.
Is it possible, Nikki Young, that he is saying this knowing that the Mexican government is going to say absolutely not? And so even if it's a good idea, and Mario has laid out why it might be, it's a safe it's
a great
thing
platform
to suggest, because you'll never actually have to do it.
He can talk and put all these people out there and put all this energy out there without actually having to execute it, because it's wishful thinking.
But Jack, it's just like when he said, Texas needs to secede. I mean, we all knew that was not going to happen.
That wasn't going to happen. Yeah, that was funny.
That
was funny.
That worked on two different levels, though, I thought, because there were a lot of people who got very angry.
Right.
And thought it was offensive and rednecky and podunky to say that. I actually took a little bit of a different view of it, which was that the states have to have some kind of leverage against the federal government. Yeah. And in fact, although I don't expect lots of states' governors to come out and say this, the threat of secession is actually the ultimate piece of leverage that they have. The federal government should be wondering about these states, not supremely confident that they can cram any mandate they want down our throat and we'll have to take it. They should be worried about this. I don't know if he was serious. He didn't really go anywhere with it. But I mean, I don't advocate the secession of Texas. I advocate the threat of secession because I think it's the only way for the states to rebalance this relationship. And I agree with you, Trish. He is really good, whether he means it or not.
He's a very smart politician.
He's always on the topic of the moment. I also think, by the way, that despite his many
detractors.
Despite his insistence that he's not, I think he's positioning himself, if not to run for president, I think he believes that he will be in the cabinet of a Republican president, maybe a running mate for a Republican, because I can't really believe he wants to be governor for 14 years.
I think it's the running mate situation he's planning for. I think that, I think every politician grows up and says, I want to be president, but I think that he is putting himself in the right position, and I do think it's going to be a running mate situation.
He was in town recently with Newt Gingrich. I went to an event, and there were a lot of people that are like, do you think he's going to run? Is there, is there something to be said for a Newt Gingrich, Rick Perry, sort of slate as far as the Republican Party in the presidential election? So he's positioning himself for something. Whether ultimately the end goal is president of the United States, I agree. I think he feels like he is the master. And we've talked about what a smart politician he is when it comes to message and tapping into kind of the pulse, of people. But he's also really, really good about making sure that he solidifies his base, his base constituency. There is nobody better at that. And let's put this out there too. He is incredibly charismatic.
Very.
Yeah.
Which will bode well for him. And we hate to talk about celebrities and politicians.
He's charismatic.
Did you know that he's a member of the Screen Actors Guild?
I did not know that.
He has his SAG card.
Why is that?
Because of some of the commercials that he has been in, and he is a big advocate of the film industry, and he helped us push our legislative session to get a film incentive package in both the last two legislative sessions, and we're going for it again, and he is a big supporter of that, and so he actually has his SAG card in his wallet at all times.
Real quick, on the question of the troops in Mexico, one of you said Afghanistan has turned into a war of an occupation exercise. And I read today that we're putting armored tanks into Afghanistan.
Oh, Oh, wow.
What makes us think that we wouldn't be permanently occupying northern Mexico? It's a failed state.
Right.
They're not going to suddenly turn into responsible partners here.
Right.
So, in essence, if we did go, if they somehow did say yes, I think we would be there kind of semi-permanently.
I think that's the danger in going into any hostile country. Is what is the exit strategy?
Right.
What are you going in to accomplish, and what is the exit strategy? Otherwise, it turns into an occupation, which is exactly what has happened in Afghanistan.
So will somebody stand up and say, no, Rick Perry, you're wrong, and here are the pitfalls? Or will everybody say, we're so afraid of that border? Yes, absolutely. Army South. That's the answer.
Well, I'm in Trish's camp. When the comment was made and the story was reported, I love the aggression that Rick Perry was exuding. But there has to be a strategy in place. Like you said, if you enter into any sort of war, what's the exit strategy? Would it be a simpler war that we would be fighting than the one that we're fighting in Afghanistan? Maybe. And maybe that would mean that it would be a much shorter term type of combat that we would go in and fight. But I would be interested in learning what the strategy would be. Hey, if we don't do this within a year, we're pulling people back. But my best guess is if you're fighting a strategic war with drug cartels in Mexico.
I think you'd be looking at more than a year.
Yeah,
I think it would take more than a year to figure out who the good guys and the bad guys
are.
Well, and then also how closely in tandem will we work with the Mexican government, and would they be willing to work with us? I mean, they would have to allow us to enter their borders.
That's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
I think that we are in a scary, scary world right now.
Yep.
We are back with the lightning round on Gang of Four next on News Talk 550 KTSA.